stress. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They done drive love fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Hey, wow. Gosh, man, what is it? It's Friday, right? And usually we say, thank God it's Friday. How many of you got some money in your pockets? Let's be reasonable. Let's start right off the bat. Oh, Guyana, right? Guyana, this is what it's about. There's really nothing for people. Absolutely nothing for people. But if you were to go in the bank accounts of Irfan Ali, the entire cabinet, you name it, all of them, they got hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess where they got that from? You, the people. You, the ordinary people. And so if you go around and you ask, you run into, let's say, 10 random persons on the streets. You ask them to open their wallets. They have absolutely nothing inside, nothing. And that's the so-called little Dubai that they're talking about, right? Where the ordinary folks got nothing at all. But yet they want to jump up and talk about progress and the promises made, the promises of corruption. That is what they're talking about. There's nothing really there for the ordinary man and woman. And regardless of your ethnicity, mind you, you could be from Blackbush Polder, you can be from Port Morant, you can be from Mississippi, you can be from wherever. You can even be from Buxton, right? You could be from Georgetown. There's really nothing in there for the ordinary masses. Absolutely nothing. But every day they parade around, they get this expo, that expo, that expo, this money, that money, that big ships sailing in the ocean, all manner of things. Them a cut Ray-Ban because that's what they like doing. Cutting Ray-Ban. When them a cut Ray-Ban, it is part of corruption. That is what it is all about. And again, you go walk around Border Market. Well, you can't walk around Border Market because Border Market flood. And this is not now that Border Market a flood. You know when border market flood, I be bring them years ago, I be bring them right here on straight up. And I be show you, say, look, border market flood, border market rat infested. All manner of thing happen to border market. And for 20-something years, the PPP not care nothing but border market. Well, now people now suddenly, they're in politics and they're exposing border market as though border market flood is just something that happened yesterday, or it is something that happened today. It didn't happen today. It was happening years ago. Every time it rains, it floods, and you see them big rat, them big rat run out of the market. Small rat, centipedes, snakes, all sorts of things. And when you see them big rat, bar rats, when you see those rats running out of border market, when you see them centipedes run out of border market, when you see them snake crawl out of border market, you stop for a moment and you ask yourselves, for a moment you thought you were in Parliament, right? Because Parliament get a set of rats, a set of snakes, a set of centipedes, and all manner of things. Most of them are on the PPP side of the Parliament. Most, if not all of them. Rats, centipede, cockroaches, you name it. And so you see, when you see these things crawling out of border market now, you can't blame the people. You blame the corrupt government of the day. And so when these people parade around that they want to make this fancy, they want to make the fancy, the only time they get into things to fix things is when they know they could thief money. Anytime they have to do something for the people, they're not going to do it unless they could thief from the people. Oh, that's a sweat, right? Good night. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshaw. What is happening in your neck of the wood, guys? What do you guys want us to talk about? Every single night we expose corruption upon corruption upon corruption. Every single day. But let me ask you guys this question. Why do Guyana? The government, the so-called government corrupt. They corrupt so bad. It's like everybody, they want to be as corrupt as they are. So they grab a couple of Nimakaram, a couple of Chamar from the opposition who didn't really care about you. Now, forget about Jorman. He's a little midget, right? Jorman Figueroa, right? I saw he was picking on, why does he think that it's okay to pick on me and I'm not going to pick back on him? But somebody sent me a photograph of Jorman Figueroa, and the caption is, they're not sure if it is Jorman, and they sent it to ask me if this is Jorman. I'm like, how are you going to ask me if this is Jorman Figueroa? Sitting in front of Freedom House, waiting for disability cash grant. Now, the person who sent this to me is from Linden. And I'm like, why would you send this and ask me if this is Jorman Figueroa? Telling me, they're trying to set me up. But now, I don't know if this is Jorman Figueroa, the little midget, the political midget of no significance, none whatsoever, just fighting for a little bowl, You know how it is go, man. They got to fight for the little bowl of soup. And they got to fight, and I don't know why they don't drink their soup quietly like Selwyn Peters and Don. Why they don't do it, or why they don't just go off in the sunset and do what this guy here was actually doing. I don't know why they do that. And so the person who sent me this photograph asking me, of all person, how am I going to know whether this is Jorman Figueroa or not? Any one of you in the audience, if you recognize this guy as Jorman Figueroa, just let me know if it is. No, I don't know if it is him. I mean, the picky dread may probably, and then the height because he's short, right? And then the fact is, why would someone send me this to tell me and ask me, whether this is Jorman Figueroa begging for disability handout in front of Freedom House? Now, I had to tell him I don't know. Now, if Jorman Figueroa is watching this show, he can confirm whether this is him or not. No, I don't know. However, this is what occurred today, and we just get straight to that. Because Jack Dale, according to a photograph that's circulating on social media, now it's up to the PPP to tell you guys whether this is Jack Dale or not. I don't know whether this is Jack Dale. I don't know whether this is Jack Dale or not. all we have been hearing is that he's ill. We haven't seen, well, it doesn't matter but the Guyanese people haven't seen him in almost a month. They haven't heard from him, but because of the queries on social media, suddenly they rush out somebody. Well, I'm going to talk about that. But what is happening to him? Based on our sources, is that he met a couple months ago in New York, somewhere out there in Long Island. And guess what? Some doctors from India, and this is what I want the PPP to confirm, or they should deny. Forget about whether he's dying, forget about whether he's sick or not, and all these things. But I have noticed that the PPP is in first gear. Right? I noticed that they're in first gear. And so this is a question. One, how many doctors they brought in from India to Long Island? Neville Seatal, come on, man. Why would you say that Jack Day had an abortion? Now, this is a serious program, Neville Seatal. But then again, it could possibly, I don't know. Neville is asking the question here. Now, let's get back to business here. This is what they have to say to the public, because it is your tax-paying dollars that is trying to, revive him. Whatever the situation, whether he has throat cancer, look, they got to come forward and say to you whether it's first stage of throat cancer or whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not going to get involved with that. But what I'm saying, that he's getting taxpayers' money, and they got to be able to answer to you. He's not a private citizen. It is your money that is spending for him. Whatever he cuts, whatever get cuts, whatever he abort, it doesn't matter. It is your tax-paying dollars. And nothing is wrong with asking questions. Only Mickey Mouse like a Jermaine Figueroa and them. By the way, somebody tell Jermaine that he's no longer an MP. So he has to remove that from his page. He's no longer an MP. He's daydreaming right now, right? He's an MP. But guess what? Jack Dale now. Jack Dale has to answer in the PPP how much money they spent, and assuming that it's accurate, mind you, assuming that it's accurate. And if it is accurate, then they should say to the public how much money they spent to take doctors, flew doctors all the way from India to Long Island and maybe Guyana. How much? Hundreds of thousands of US dollars for that. And what was the purpose? Now, they've got to do it. It's your money that's being spent. And I'm wondering for a second, I paused for a second. Has anyone seen Robert Passad recently? I know somebody sent a message from the PPP. They were saying that there was a medvac and he was flown out of the country for all sorts of things. Well, I can say speedy recovery to Robert Passad. I don't know whatever his sickness is, intestine, I don't know, and I'm not going to give my mouth liberty here at all. They are public figures, and now this is what I'm saying. I want you to hear me out, loud and clear. I want you guys to hear me out. It is your tax dollars that they are spending, and therefore they are accountable to you, the taxpayers of Guyana. They're not private citizens like me or like Mavis and like Camille and Carl Miller and all these people, and Wayne Caesar and Brenda Braithwaite and Cheryl and the whole crew, Deborah and the entire crew, Leslyn Hamilton and so forth. You guys are private citizens. I am a private citizen. But these guys are spending your tax dollars, and therefore they are answerable to you. So after this whole social media thing, some thought Jack Deere died. Well, I'm surprised that he hasn't. But some folks thought he died. Some are of the view that he is in an intensive care unit. Some are of the view that he's undergoing chemo, whatever. And so the news was like wildfire, right, Maud? Wildfire, going crazy. And so this is what got that little midget, that political midget, Jermaine Bumps raised. And so he got to jump to protect Massa, right? He got to jump out to protect Massa so he could drink his little bowl of soup. the same people that wanted to jail him, the same people that wanted to lock him up, the same people that accuse him of thieving pig money. Thieving pig money. Now, whether he did it or not is a different story. But we are the ones who defended him. When the PPP wanted to jail him for thieving, allegations, mind you, for thieving pig money. We defended him at all costs every single night. And look, a day like today, this is what he's doing. This is what. So after we're questioning this here, this is what we're questioning. Does this really look like Jack Deere? Now, that's a question we're asking. Is this really Barra Jack Deere? Look at the face, look at the eyes, look at the mouth, mash up, mash up, mash up. Head gone in, sink in, nose twist up. Now, maybe that is why Irfan Ali came out with the disability check, cash grant. Maybe that's why. Now, we don't know if this is Jack Deere. 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 We don't know. And so it is perfectly fine to ask the question. Now, according to a source, now I don't know if the source is, being a little bit mischievous. I don't know. It is up for the PPP. Up for the PPP. Now, it is up to them to make it clear. They can't parade a man walking around, claim that this is Barra Jack Deere. We don't know. We just don't know. Now, look at this man. This man got to be about 65, 68 years old. Now, someone at Freedom House said, and it's up to them. Now, forget about Jermaine, right? But this is what someone at Freedom House said, that this guy here was brought from India. Now, I don't know whether it's accurate. This guy is not Barra Jack Deere. He's actually Barra Jack Deere double, and is somebody they paid about $200,000 to act as though he is Barra Jack Deere. Now, it is for the PPP to decide whether that is true or not. Not me. And I'm not going to defend them at all. So now, I did a little search of who this vendor could possibly be. Now, I don't know whether this is the guy, this is the vendor, that they just shave up his head, put on a little makeup on him, put on a little clothes, and flew him to Guyana. I don't know. And it's up to the PPP to respond to these questions. Not from me, but Jermaine Piguero now. Jermaine Piguero wants to jump up now and sing for his supper. And this is what he did. Remember Jermaine, right? Said, Lyndon, are you love me? Lyndon, do you love me? Now, Londoners don't want anything to do with him because they couldn't deliver Lyndon to the PPP. And so he stopped saying, Lyndon, do you love me? Lyndon, do you love me? Well, of course, he got to get his disability check too, right? Lyndon, do you love me? And so this is what he wrote. He says, and tag him, let him know that he's no longer an MP, right? He's no longer an MP. No one wants him to be an MP. He became an MP by luck. That's all. No one wants him to be an MP. But look, this is what he says. How can anyone take this guy seriously? Could you just imagine? Could you imagine Piguero is asking, how can anyone take me seriously? How can anyone take Jermaine Piguero seriously? People haven't taken Jermaine Piguero seriously at all because they see him as a flatfoot political hustler. People in Linden have no regards for him, no respect for him. He's done with politically. So how can people take him seriously when he still has up on his page MP, parading around as though he is a member of parliament? What member of parliament is he? Give me a break. How can anyone take this Paku seriously? Huh? Tell me, guys, who takes Jermaine Piguero? Piguero, this is a guy that we stood up and we fought for. This is a guy that the PPP accused of thieving pig money. This is a guy that we stood up right here on this show and defended. If we didn't defend him, the PPP would have taken him and thrown him into the sty at Lusignan so-called prison. But we defended him. And you know what happened? Sorry for Magadag. And that's what's going on with him. Because when you're sorry for Magadag does turn around, bite you. That is what's going on. So he's singing for his supper. He wants his supper. Someone said that this is him in front of Freedom House. I don't know, again, whether that's him or not. I don't know. But what I do know tonight, somebody tag Jermaine Piguero, the former midget MP. Tag him, because he got the award for tonight. You got to get it again. One more time. Now, remember, this is a guy, Jermaine Figueroa. We gave free airtime right here on 107.1 FM. Free airtime so that he could put on a little lipstick and makeup and present himself like some sort of respectable politician. But we saw right through him. We knew what he was up to. A big sellout. That is what it is. And a flatfoot hustler, just out hustling for little crumbs while pretending to be a politician. What else is happening in your neck of the wood, guys? If our operator could take this photograph, somebody said it's Piguero, but we don't know. But get him off the screen, please. What else is happening in your neck of the woods that we can discuss? It's Friday. What do you guys want us to talk about? We can talk about the fact that billions of dollars wasted. We can talk about the fact that there's no democracy in Guyana. There's no checks and balances. There's nothing. All you have is just corruption upon corruption upon corruption. Every single day we see it. And the money is not trickling down to the people. They're not receiving what they should be receiving. All we're getting is promises, 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 and the flatfoot hustlers are just out there collecting their little bags of coins, and they're quite satisfied with that. They are quite satisfied with that. Somebody said there's a trench grapple. Well, our operator, find that trench grapple. We need absolutely no distraction here, none whatsoever. Catch that trench grapple and dash them in the trench. Put some salt on the back and dash them in the trench. So it's Friday. What else is happening? What's happening in Guyana? I noticed that the APNU, they had a press conference today, and they had a good press conference. A lovely press conference. And that is what we need to see. We need to see these 12 members of parliament belonging to the opposition, the APNU, and those are the real opposition, and they're out there and they're fighting, and the legitimate fight, by the way. They're not now picking up issues that have been there for many years and regurgitating those same issues, whether it is Eccles, some play field in Eccles that has been there for so many years. And some of these people who suddenly realize that Eccles has a play field, they knew that all along, but didn't give a rat's you know what. So be careful with these overnight people now repackaging the same problem that has been there, the problems that they have created, the problems that they have ignored, the problems they have done nothing about, and now trying to repackage it to make it look as though they care about the, pulling out a measuring tape. Y'all know who, right? A pack of jokers. Hey, but it was a good press conference there today by APNU. Sherrod Duncan was there. Maybe that's why Sherrod couldn't show up for his show tonight. Dr. Terence Campbell and I believe Ganesh Mahipal. Yeah, Ganesh Mahipal was there as well. And I thought it was just a wonderful, a very informative press conference. So give them kudos for that. And so if, of course, Sherrod Duncan was so tired, he had to put that there's no show tonight, right? All right, so it's Friday night. What else is happening in your neck of the woods? What's going on the quarantine? Well, today was the funeral of the young man, Bernard, who died along with a little girl at Limnair village. Bernard, I believe, is from Brighton village, and there is some family connection there. And condolences again to the family members of Bernard and the young lady from Limnair village. And so the funeral for Bernard was really, really huge. It's a sad situation. Like I've said, Bernard is a relative of some members of my family as well. So there is some connection there. And condolences again. Look, every single day in Guyana, every single day is an accident. And therefore, the police force, they've got to go back to the drawing board. They got to figure out what is going on. Are the drivers just ignorant, or the police just not doing their jobs? One of the things that I believe, and since Guyana, Air Finale and these guys like to go around and beg. They're begging. They like stretch their hand out like this, and they like beg. And whatever go in their hand, they squeeze it. And okay, they just like to beg, right? Stretch their hands out and beg. So if they go out, this is what can solve some of the the traffic problems, in my opinion, in a very major way. Bring back the toll stations. You remember the Linden-Soesdijk Highway? How many train stations they had there? How many? Let me see if you guys remember. Colin Barnwell. Forget about Colin. Colin a little bit. He probably doesn't remember. How many? Or he probably never went to Linden. Good night to Colin. Now, how many toll stations? How many toll stations Linden-Soesdijk Highway had? How many toll stations? That's the first question. How many toll stations? And okay, Paula Angel said 2. Marlon Jacob say 2. Daphne Joseph say, everybody saying 2. Somebody said 3. Roxanne Haywood says 3. Where Roxanne Haywood get 3 from? I'd like to hear that. Where? 2 seems to be the correct answer. Gregory Scott says 2. But where on earth Roxanne Haywood got 3 from? Where? Now, here is why. Somebody else say Phil Class said 3. Now, I know 2. I know of 2. Theodore Adams says 2. Well, if Theodore says 2 is 2, right? Where some of y'all get 3 from? Where? It's 2 toll stations. One till up so, and the other one halfway at the halfway point, right? Till up so. And now here is why the toll stations are important. Here is why Meiji or Maji 1018, if she says 3, it's okay. We're here to have a conversation, not to be disrespectful. So you don't say 1 for her. Now, I know where you're going with that, but we're not going to tolerate that at all. We're going to respect each other here. This is not a forum for that. So let's not go that route. So there are 2 toll stations. 2. There were 2 toll stations. And here is why those toll stations are important. They help to bring revenues, right? That could develop the community, develop Linden, and so forth. Theodore, we're not going to Borbisas yet, please. Thank you. All right? Thank you. We'll have to report you to Conan Marshall and the crew. Good night to Theodore. But we're not going to Borbisas yet. Let's stick to Linden-Soesdijk Highway. So you get the revenues coming in from the toll stations there. And it's able to develop the community, develop the town, develop the region 10 and so forth, right? So now, here's why the toll stations are important. Cars and minibuses that are speeding, and even trucks, they know that they have to cross that toll, past that toll station. They know that they have to stop. So when you get the toll stations there and you get those police outposts, now you're tackling crime as well, and you're reducing those traffic, those accidents and so forth, and speeding vehicles. Now, apart from the toll stations, if I had my way, I'll reintroduce the toll stations, the 2 toll stations on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. And you have about 20 traffic police on motorcycles in the Bushkarna, waiting with the sirens for the speeding vehicles. And you've got to be serious with these drivers. And that is going to be able to deter the sort of speeding on the roadways, on the highways, and the accidents and so forth. Trust me, it could do the trick. But the government of Guyana, the current government, the corrupt government, they wouldn't go that route. They wouldn't want to go that route, right? They wouldn't. But they go all over and they beg for money. And when they beg, the more money they get, the more they can thief. Why not bring in 100 motorcycles for the police force so that you can flood the roads, whether it's the East Coast, whether it's the West Coast Berbice, whether it's the East Bank Berbice, up the Quarantine Highway and so forth. And now let's get to West Coast Berbice or somewhere. Put a toll station somewhere at Weldad or somewhere Cotton Tree or wherever. Put another toll station there. Or put 2 toll stations from Rosignol all the way to Georgetown. Maybe one at Weldad and maybe another one somewhere closer to probably maybe Melanie or somewhere like that. So you put the toll stations. Well, you don't necessarily, Melanda, need speed bumps on the actual public roads. I mean, but it's a good suggestion though. But the toll stations, and you put police motorcycle police on the roadways, and all of them have their their body cam. You go across the river now to East Berbice, and you put a toll station right where there was one, number 19. Then you put another one maybe around Tarla G, Wellington Park, Tarla G. How many of you know that area? Wellington Park, Tarla G. And then you put another one as you head towards Skeldon. And you're not going to charge a heck of a lot, $100, $150, $120, whatever. But the purpose of that is to reduce the speeding vehicles. And on top of that, you're still making some money to repair the roads and so forth. But this corrupt government is not going to do that because they can't think. The only time they give the impression that they're thinking is when they're giving out road contracts so that they can thief the money. Tell Jermaine that he joined a party that thief and they're oppressing the people. And so people like Jermaine Figueroa should hang their head in shame. Shame. That is what they should do, because people don't take them seriously. People don't take a picky dread seriously, right? And so when we talk about developments and so forth, this corrupt PPP regime doesn't care about you, the ordinary people. They don't care about Guyana. But every single day, they're talking about accident and traffic. They're having policemen having meetings in the communities. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time because we're not hearing policemen who stretch their hands out for bribe. And now, not all of them do that, right? Drunken drivers posting their photographs on social media, on the police blog, isn't going to help the problem. It doesn't. Why don't they post politicians' photos when they catch them drunk? Ministers' photos when they catch them drunk? Why they don't post Edgel photo when they catch you in some private room in 39 minutes after 9 o'clock Guyana time, 39 minutes after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What is it? 39 minutes after 7 o'clock in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Lots of folks watching us there, Rajendra and others. Good night to Rajendra. Lots of Somalis there in Minneapolis and also in St. Paul. They're under pressure, but we'll touch on that maybe on Monday. But let us continue on this thing here. And Guyana, and the traffic and the road accidents and the deaths and all these sort of things. They just do not care. They just do not care. There's no proper policy in place. What else is it that you guys can, let me see, Ellen Charles seems to know a little bit. You brought them back right where they were. Yeah, you put them back right where they were. Elaine Charles seems to be a quarantine person. She's saying you put them back where they were. Number 19 toll station. Because that number 19 road, it's important. And you got to give the PNC credit on the Burnham. Because those of you who know the number 19 road, right, Rajendra and others and Elaine and so forth, forget about Mary Figueroa. She never left Georgetown yet, right, or Victoria. Good night, Mary. And so That turn, that number 19 turn, that's where these guys speeding and there's no lights. Thanks to the PNC, thanks to APNU for putting lights all across that area, because APNU had the vision as to what Guyana needs in order to develop Guyana. That entire stretch from Palmyra going all the way, you pass number 19 and you pass, go to Court Village and you're going over straight down, what is it, Firish and those areas, thanks to the APNU government, APNU, APNU, AFC government for doing that. But they're not going to tell you guys that. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to make it look as though APNU, AFC government not do nothing. That is not true. The best time in a long time, the best time in a long time. Taylor Adams, stop it, man. You born and raised in Linden. You grew up in one of y'all boats. One of y'all boats. You never left Linden. The first time you left Linden was when you came to New York. Tell people, but you live at Limlear. Where in Limlear? Which one of them shingle houses? You live at... Anyways, look. Theodore, you live at Limlear. Good night to Theodore. So, yes. So these are things that you need. Now, when APNU government, when APNU AFC got into office, that, in my opinion, was the best time in a long time. Guyana and Guyanese were able to breathe again. All around the country, people were able to breathe again. It's like it was a new country. You feel like it's a big weight just came off your shoulder. A huge weight just came off of your shoulder. After 23 plus years of oppression and a dirty country, a corrupt country, they couldn't pass the money laundering bill. They didn't want the DEA office in Guyana. They didn't want to extradite individuals. All these sort of things. It's like a heavy weight every day, almost every week, extrajudicial killings, all manner of things, every single day. And look at what APNU did even without oil money. Could you imagine, guys, if the PPP and their friends, didn't rig the 2020 elections? Could you just imagine where Guyana would have been today? Could you just imagine with oil money? Just imagine the amount of developments under the coalition government without oil money. Oh gosh. Can you just imagine? I hope Theodore didn't get vexed on guy, them chaps bombs us raised quick. Theodore, where? Right? Could you just imagine where Guyana would have been today with a government like APNU, headed by someone like David Granger? Now, Granger's a straitjacket guy, right? But just imagine where Guyana would have been in terms of development. Far, far, far ahead. But even without money, they were able to run lights from Palmyra all past the number 19 road, all over Firish, into Albion, into Nig. I know them villages, right? Into Belvedere, then Hampshire. All those, Williamsburg as well, sorry, and Hampshire and Rose Hall and so forth. All of these things under the coalition. Said they couldn't come and say that the coalition discriminated against anybody. And that is what they keep saying. That is what they keep saying. And if they keep repeating those things, somehow you're going to believe that. But it is not true. A bunch of developments happened under the coalition David Granger's presidency. A lot of the ideas, a lot of the things that you're seeing here right now is as a result of the coalition government. All of the policies, the PPP, you name one policy that the PPP came out with on their own. One policy. Everything they condemned the PNC and Bornham, they cost Bornham, is every single thing they're doing right now. They have not one policy. One policy, not one policy on their own. And under the coalition government, For 20-something years, the PPP couldn't put lights in their predominantly supporters areas. They couldn't do that. They couldn't build the roads properly. But thanks to the coalition government, they couldn't put a passport office in Linden, but thanks to the coalition government. They couldn't put a passport office in Lethem and other areas, but thanks to the coalition government. They couldn't put a lands and surveys office in New Amsterdam, but thanks to the coalition government. They couldn't do anything to reduce blackouts in the country, but thanks to the coalition government. How many of you recall that blackouts, hardly blackouts in Georgetown, under the coalition government, without oil money? But now they get billions of dollars of oil money every single day, 10 blackouts, 15 blackouts. Every single day, under the corrupt PPP regime. Blackouts, 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 blackouts. Every single day. They're taking hundreds of millions of dollars and push it, in the pockets. I know some of you thought of it. And take it, and they'll take them and push it in their pockets. Every single day. Blackouts upon blackouts. The water, worse than Mabi. Brung, 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 brung. That is under the PPP regime. But under the coalition, you could have torn on your shower up on the second floor, on the third floor, and the water, just like how it should be. But not under the PPP, because they're full of corruption. It's bare corruption with these vagabonds, these Katahars, these Korhis, these Chamars, these Tereka Bur Nanika Chodorka Landeke. And I often stop at that. And where some of you guys are, these Chamars, these Katahars, these Korhi, these Tereka these Nanika Chodor, these all manner of things, right? These Nimakaram, these Lungera, these trench crappos want to come to you and talk about. Somebody say easy, man, easy. Who's this Meiji, man? We gotta find out who's this Meiji. Like, they come here to distract. We gotta find out, could Meiji be Jack Dale? We gotta find out, we just get the way of finding out things quick, right? So, Brendan Thompson, how are you guys? I know it's Friday night. I listened to my friend Conan Marshall. I like listening to Conan Marshall. I like listening to the show. I like listening to the show. Down to Earth and Taki Mine, right? The highlighters. I like listening to those brothers. It's good debate. It's healthy debate. And one of the things Conan Marshall said on his program this morning is that he don't want to talk politics. And I'm like, everything is politics. So we have to talk politics. But what Conan Marshall said, and I agree with, it's Christmas time, right? And what good is going on in Guyana? Not just Linden, but of course, Conan is in Linden. He's confining it to Linden. But what's good? Anything good that's going on in Guyana as we prepare to celebrate Christmas? As we prepare to celebrate Christmas, Trench Crapo come. Trench Crapo, Selwyn Peters is with us tonight. Selwyn Peters said only a few minutes ago you spoke about respect. Name calling is not respect. Come on, Soupy. Soupy. I'm talking about us as a family. You are an outside. You are step family. You're no longer part of this family. You step out and you're embracing oppressors. So you're no longer part of this family. But we tolerate you. We tolerate you, right? And so the respect I'm talking about, Sally, the respect I'm talking about is basically amongst us as a family. You left us, you walk out. You owe us child support. So you're not entitled to lecture us about respect here. Man, look, Selwyn, enjoy your Friday night. You're not part of this family, right? You guys deal with Selwyn in the audience day. Deal with him. We just tolerate him for now. Furthermore, where's Selwyn there, man? Where's Selwyn? Selwyn, you know You know you got to go for your disability cash grant, right? You know you got to go for that. You know you got to go for that. And when you want to talk about respect, y'all want we must come on this show, right? Here how they want this. Here how they want we must come on this show and say, good night. My name is Mark Benshap. Welcome to Straight Up. And tonight we just want to talk. We're not going to disrespect anybody. We're just going to carry on a nice, smooth program, right? And let me just say good night to Savish Tesh. Let me say good night to Rhonda Lane. Let me just say good night to Marlon Thomas and all of you guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. As you know, it's Friday, right? And that's the kind of program y'all want us to have. But when Nima Karam, Jack Dale, and Irfan, and all these pakus in the PPP, the people that y'all worship in the PPP, when they go on there and they call people names, they call David Hines, whatever they call David Hines, they call this other body name, this other body names, and all sort of things. And when Jack Dale said Benshap is smuggle lipstick and wigs and all sort of things, right? Y'all laugh because y'all love that. Y'all say kya kya kya, but y'all wouldn't tell Jack Dale and Irfan and those Pakus, those Katahars, those Korhis, those Nimakarams, and so forth. I ain't not gonna tell them to be respectful to people. I ain't not gonna admonish them and say, y'all don't say that about Benshap. Benshap is a nice guy, right? Benshap is a nice, handsome guy. Oh, are you left Benshap alone? Are you be respectful? And all these things. When they calling Rickford tight pants, tight this, tight that, and playing song for Rickford and say, tight and sweet and tight and sweet, tighter. Y'all don't look at that, but y'all want us to be so righteous, right? We must pull up we shirt, we must pull up we pants and tight, we pull we belt, tight, 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 right? But y'all want to come here for lecture Abby. Not tonight. You know what lecture me? So Soupy, take the lecture, walk in. Whenever Jack Day comes back from wherever he is, lecture. Take that lecture to them. Take that lecture to Godi Man, critic. Take those sort of lecturing to them. You come here and want to lecture me, but being respectful. Man, I'm sick and look. Furthermore, how many of y'all think that Selvin should get the award tonight too? How many of y'all? Always with this thingy, but respectful and respectful. Man, cuss me out every day. Every day, Jack, they cussing out people, Irfan cussing out people and all kind of thing, and then you want to talk and tell people we're respectful. Man, look, here, furthermore. All right. Let me... National player! And the ball from Buxton Video. All over! Showtime! Bust your ass! The national player, bust your backside. And you telling people but respectful. Oh, sorry about that, guys. 54 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshap. One more thing. We ain't gonna waste the donkey on Soupy. We already gave the donkey to one other Soupy. We gave the donkey to Licky. We ain't gonna give the donkey to Soupy now. We're gonna save the donkey for some other time. What else is going on as we prepare? These guys are presumptuous, right? They want to come here. But we're glad that he watches the program, though. He learns from this program, you know. He can't listen to your friend Lick Lick. He can't listen to this. By the way, was this one here the other day lecturing them people in Win about democracy, and he can't even talk properly. Look, he lip dry. He look like he get white mouth from since back in the day. But what did they call it? Peer. That you get peer. Your white mouth, right? Imagine these things, these kind of things, this Baku head individual. These are the people who say about they're running Guyana and lecturing people about democracy and lecturing people about freedom of speech, lecturing people about freedom of the press and all. Is what Guyana turned to, man. Kier, thank you, Andrea, is what Guyana turned to every single time. And then he makes a video. Hello, and then And you see how he twists up his mouth. He twists up his mouth like he there at the cathedral fighting with an icicle. Icicle. You know what, right? Icicle. Anyways, it's Friday. Naughty, you guys. I'm a nice guy. Apostle and Pastor Greenwich. They have a nice show in the morning. I hope they pray for me, I hope, because sometimes I'm a little naughty, Father, please forgive me, right? I know you guys forgive me because we mean well, right? Let me see what's going on in the comment section. Hey, you know what? I saw this guy here floating around social media. This guy, right? He nose full of booger. No, oops, sorry. We should be professional here. But this guy now walking around St. Vincent with a stick, right? Walking around, meeting and shaking people's hands and hello. All of a sudden, there's what's going on there now. He didn't know all of these things when he was in office. Now he's the only man. He's the opposition leader. He's the chief whip. Hey, God knows how to wake these pakus up. God knows how to wake these pakus up cutting, right? God knows how to wake these pakus up, Joylin. Well, yeah, we talking about what's good going on. Joylin is the only person start Christmas. Other people counting down the days for cash grant, right? Oh, man. Hey, there's something else that I want to talk about before we go. Because, it's Friday and I got to go out for a little tux. I may stop by at Woodbine. So if you see me at Woodbine tonight and you want to, I'm there, right? I'm there, right? I ain't going by the hills. I ain't going by the hills. Because if I go by the hills, I ain't want to run into nobody named Coretta. I ain't want to get involved in them things them there. Because I ain't get money for buy nobody no moccasin or no nut. I'm just going out for a nice glass of wine. That's all. A brother needs a glass of wine sometimes, right? All right. One more thing before I go though, right? One more thing. Y'all make her forget what I wanted. Y'all want me to go now or stay? If you want me to stay, I'll stay. But if you want me to go because it's Friday, I've really got to go, right? But hey, guess what? Christmas is around the corner. They're going to come out and they're going to, I don't think they're going to give you guys any crash grant, right? But what they're going to do, they are going to announce. They're going to announce, y'all know what they're going to announce, right? They're going to announce bonus for joint service members. They're going to announce little bonus for this, little bonus for that, and then they're going to give little VAT-free stuff as well. Just watch out. You could peep these pakus. You know these pakus, what they're about, right? And that is what they're playing stupid, petty politics with y'all. But here's what y'all got to do. Everybody saying, stay, Mark, stay. Pull me, right? Pull me. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to come out with a little brown bag, a little package for you guys, and pretend that they're going to give you guys something. And that it is a big announcement and all sorts of, y'all don't worry these guys. Y'all got to come together as a real opposition, mind you. People who really care about Guyana. People who want to save Guyana, not people who want to save themselves. People who want to save Guyana. Right? All these problems we see some of them talking about existed before. But they're just now packaging these problems, putting it in a little plastic bag to make it look as though they care about the problems now. This is what's going on. Y'all big and y'all smart. Y'all read between the lines who really care about you guys. And that is why I am saying to you guys, I am embracing the 12 MPs. They care about you. They care about Guyana. They are fighting for you guys. And you know, if anyone of them mess up, it's me and them though. But I put my confidence in them. I put my trust in them because I'm seeing some good works. And we've got to praise them indeed. Somebody's birthday, who's saying a happy birthday? Whose birthday is it? I don't know. But whoever birthday is it, happy birthday to you. Right? Joylyn celebrated her birthday the other day. I can't believe I've known Joylyn for over How long? 45 years. You are still a darling. Since Biltmore days, Guiding Light days, Love People days. Oh gosh. Happy birthday to you, Joylyn, and all others who are celebrating their birthdays. By the way, Joylyn is a happily uh, married woman, right? But she's a good friend, and her husband too. So, here what? Before we go, quickly. Breaking news. The Supreme Court of the United States of America, because as you know, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. The highest court in the land. But like some of my friends in Linden, they say, the highest court in the land is the United States Supreme Court. You see, the Supreme Court in Brooklyn and other states, and so they're not the highest court, they're the lowest court. But the US Supreme Court is the highest court. And this is what they're going to do. ABC says, breaking news. Wait a minute, is Rhonda's birthday? Rhonda Lane's birthday? Somebody's saying it's Rhonda Lane's birthday. Wait a minute. No, man, no. Our friend Rhonda, is her birthday and we didn't even prepare a nice cake, a nice something for Rhonda? No, we can't do our friend Rhonda that. Rhonda just signaled to me, is today your birthday? But let's continue while Rhonda responds to that. So the Supreme Court has agreed to take up the constitutionality of President Trump's order on birthright citizenship, declaring that children born to parents who are in the U.S. illegally or temporarily are not American citizens. So in other words, Monday is your birthday, Rhonda. Okay, we got you, Rhonda. We got you. If you're in Guyana, if you're here, just inbox Rhonda, send Rhonda a gift, no man. Right? Rhonda, you'll get a nice glass of wine from me, my friend. Now, take a listen to this. It simply means, anchor baby, right? And now this is not being disrespectful to anyone, but this is what they're arguing now. And the Supreme Court has decided to take up this. The Supreme Court has said, look, they're going to hear it. And this is surprising. And now, hear why it's surprising. Because if you are coming to the United States of America on a visitor's visa and you're pregnant, just be careful because you can be turned back. You can be turned back because the presumption is that you're coming to the United States to give birth. And they believe that once you give birth in the United States, you are burdening the taxpayers here. Just be careful, guys. So if you know you're heavily pregnant and you're coming as a visitor to the United States of America, be careful because the officers at the airport, they have the power to turn you back and revoke your visa or cancel your visa. They have the power to do that. And so this is why this case is important. The U.S. Supreme Court has decided that they're going to take on this case. So let us say, for example, let us say Raquel for a moment, or who else we can say, Maud or Paulette, right? Let us say that you're coming to the United States, or you are in the United States, you were maybe 6 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant, but it wasn't showing that much. And so you were able to get in. And so they stamp your passport to say you have 6 months. It doesn't mean that they give you 6 months to stay. It means you have 6 months. Within that 6 months, you have to leave. Some people like to say that, they tell me they give me 6 months to stay, No, they don't give you 6 months to stay. They give you 6 months. Within 6 months, you have to leave. You can leave a month or 2 months or whatever. But what some people do, they go all the way down to 6 months. 6 months, because they are of the view and they're not accurate. They are of the view that the officers stamped their passport 6 months, means that the officers gave them 6 months to stay. No. By law, it means you have to leave within that 6 months. But oftentimes when people dig a 6 months or close to 6 months, then they come back and dig another 6 months, and they come back and dig another 6 months. Guess what happened? Then what you're saying to the officers when you return is that they put a red flag and say, wait, why you spend 6 months here, then come back, spend another 6 months, then come back, spend another 6 months? They assume that you're working. So be careful, guys. Now let's get back to the US citizen stuff. So let's say, for example, Mary Figueroa, I'm just using that as an example, Mary, no disrespect. And Mary got through the airport and she's 6 months pregnant on a visitor's visa. And so she decides now that she's going to give birth in the United States of America. That now is the argument that the US Supreme Court has taken up. Mary Figueroa has her husband back in Victoria, or I'm just using that as an example. We could use Raquel or Denise Booker or Gloria as an example. Just an example, guys. So if you give birth in the United States of America on a visitor's visa, and your husband is outside of the US, and your husband is not a permanent resident or a citizen of the United States of America, the argument basically is whether that child will be a citizen. Now, as it is now, anyone who gives birth in the United States of America, whether you're legal or not, as long as you give birth in the United States of America, your child is automatically a citizen of the United States of America. And so the argument now that's going to be made in the US Supreme Court is whether every child, according to the Constitution, the question is whether every child who is born in the United States of America is automatically a US citizen. Trump is saying no, they're not. And so that is why the US Supreme Court says they are going to take up this offer. They are going to take up this case. Now, here's what, and one of the posts I made on my page is that I suspect, because the Supreme Court could have throw it out and say, no, Trump's argument has no merit. But the fact that the Supreme Court has decided that they're going to hear this case got me thinking now that maybe they want to appease Trump. They're going to give him a sort of victory. And here is the victory that they may give him. They will give him partial victory, not overall victory. They may come to the point to meet him halfway to say that if in fact you have one parent who is either a green card holder or a citizen of the United States of America, then that child is entitled to citizenship. But if the person is in the country illegally and so forth, I guess it's an argument that you guys should watch. It's a case that you guys should watch out for, because it has tremendous impact. For example, if a child is born in the United States of America and that child is not a US citizen, then that child will have to leave the United States of America. And all manner of things. Now, I'm stretching it a little bit here now, in my opinion, because when children are born here, a lot of kids who were born here through what is called anchor ship or whatever, anchor baby, they were able to file for their parents as well. When they become over 21, they're able to file for their parents and give their parents their green cards and so forth. So a lot of things will happen. This will have serious impact if the United States of America, Supreme Court, rule in favor of Trump, or even partial ruling, it will still have an impact. So that is why this case is important for every single one, not just Guyanese, every single person. This case is very important. Now, on the issue of traveling, a lot of people have been asking questions whether they can leave the country and so forth. You travel, and you be very, very careful. You be cautious. You cannot have an application to remove your conditions, and you don't know whether a decision is going to be made or not. But then again, you're taking the chance to travel. Now, it's perfectly fine, but you don't want, while you're outside of the country, that a decision has been made and it's really not in your favor. So I usually say to clients, be careful, be extra careful with your travels. Be extra careful. These are serious times in the United States of America. Be careful, be wise, be smart. And always they got folks feel that they can run anywhere and get, work permit and all. Be extra careful with the decisions that you make, the immigration decisions, because it can come back to bite you. It can come back to haunt you. Be extra careful, guys, and be patient. That's all I say sometimes. Be patient, because you can't wait 14, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years in, do nothing, and expect it to be done in a week or 2 weeks. Be extra careful. The people are looking for evidence. They're looking not for 2 pieces of evidence or 1 piece of evidence. They're looking for strong evidence. That's all I wish to say. This is not an immigration program. I just thought I squeezed it in. My name is Mark Benchop. I've got to go. Basil Bradshaw is with us tonight. Why don't we wish Basil Bradshaw a happy birthday, man? A guy who has been there. I've worked, a lot of you guys don't know, I worked when I was back, I went back to Guyana in 1991, 92, and I got a job at GBC. And I worked with Basil Bradshaw, Roger Moore, Clem David, Phyllis Jackson, Margaret Lawrence, you name them. My boss, well, the general manager was Abe Brewster, but my immediate boss was news director Clem David and Phyllis Jackson and those other, Margaret Lawrence. And I worked at GBC. I worked at GBC, guys. A lot of you guys don't know. I used to do the Panorama program. Was it the Panorama? But I used to do Man in the Streets. That was my program. I was assigned to Man in the Streets. 1992. Yep, that's me, the Man in the Streets. A lot of y'all don't know that. And then I was assigned as a court reporter. I reported from the court. That was when Juman Yassin was the chief magistrate. And a lot of the judges, they were magistrates. Then they moved up the judgeship and so. So I've been around the block for a while, guys. I ain't just crawl out from somewhere, I've been around. That was when it was GBC, the Guyana Broadcasting Corporation. Anyways, happy birthday to Basil Bradshaw. And others, if you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you guys. Keep hope alive, stay focused, and don't let, Brennan is saying that I'm a veteran. I've been around. Been in broadcasting for a while. This is nothing new. GBC, WNWK, did some freelancing for WLIB. You name it. I've been there. I'm an old man now. I'll stop at that. It's Friday. God bless you all, and continue to pray for your country. Continue to pray for our adopted home, the United States of America. I'm out of here. No, Emma is here tonight. You know what? It's Friday. She's playing with her friends. And I wanted to say something. Oh, sorry. I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Wayne Caesar is going to be on in his show. Over to you. Don't miss it. 7 o'clock tomorrow, is it? Yep. God bless you. Take care.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujurong?
Su. Oh, Su.
I want to leave you again, reiterate the message. Come back home to Labour if you're straight. Young people, women, elderly, men, everybody, come back home to Labour if you're straight. Please, please, help us to help you. Lift us up. Lift me up, please, I will. Lift me up. Lift these comrades up so that we can be lifted up together.
Take your legs like a man. You take your legs like a man.